unveiling treasures from history, where every coin tells a story. This is Rare Coins.
Imagine finding an ordinary 1969 S penny, the kind you've probably seen thousands of times. But what if I told you that one of these coins, with a tiny minting mistake, sold for $240,000? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, turning into nearly $250,000. That's the thrill of coin collecting. Hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. Back in 1969, the San Francisco Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln Memorial cents. Most of them are still out there, sitting in old jars, drawers, or passed down through generations. But a few, just a few, were struck with something extraordinary. A double die obverse. That means when the die, the metal stamp that creates the design, was engraved, it got slightly misaligned, causing the letters and numbers on the coin to appear doubled. You can see it in Liberty, In God We Trust, and even the date 1969. It's sharp, clear, and unmistakable. That tiny doubling made history. Collectors lost their minds when the 1969 S double die penny was first discovered. At first, the US Secret Service even thought they were counterfeits. But later, experts confirmed they were real, genuine minting errors from the San Francisco Mint. And that turned them into legends, in pristine condition, especially if it's graded by PCGS or NGC as a high mint state. The value can soar to over $240,000. Even those with slight wear or minor imperfections can still bring tens of thousands. Imagine something that cost 1 cent now being worth enough to buy a brand new car, or even a small house. The design is classic. Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait by Victor David Branner on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. It was America's way of honoring its greatest president, while showing pride in modern craftsmanship. The S mint mark under the date stands for San Francisco, and that's your first clue you might have a treasure. Condition matters big time. A coin with scratches or wear might not reach 6 figures, but a crisp, shiny one pulled straight from a roll and stored safely could make a collector's heart race. The color matters too. Bright red pennies, known as red in grading terms, are the most valuable, followed by red-brown and then brown. Now where can you find one? Don't think you have to dig through antique stores or spend a fortune. These coins still show up in everyday circulation. Check your old jars, inherited boxes, and even your wallet. Some people have found 1969 S pennies mixed with newer coins from the bank. All it takes is a bit of luck and a sharp eye. Use a magnifying glass to check the letters and date carefully. True double dies will show crisp doubling, not a blurry or shadowed look. And once you find something that seems unusual, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can slash its value instantly. Instead, take clear photos and post them on online collector groups or send them for grading to PCGS or NGC. If it's real, you might be sitting on a life-changing discovery. Think of it this way. Every penny in your hand has a story. Some tell tales of history, others of mistakes that became miracles. And this one, the 1969 S double die penny, is one of the most iconic stories of them all. So tonight, when you check your change, remember, one small coin could hold a big surprise. You might not be just holding a penny. You could be holding $240,000 in the palm of your hand. And if you love stories like this and want to learn how to spot hidden treasures yourself, support our journey by subscribing to Hidden Gold Hunter. Every single subscription helps us keep digging into history's forgotten corners and bringing you more incredible finds. Start your search right at home, in your old wallets, in jars, in drawers, or even from bankrolls. You never know which coin will turn out to be the one that changes your story forever. Because sometimes the tiniest coin holds the biggest secret. Would you like me to make the next script in a slower, more dramatic narration style? Ideal for voiceovers with pauses and tension, or keep it in this smooth storytelling rhythm. Imagine holding a simple 2020D Lincoln penny, a coin you might pass by every day without even thinking twice. But what if I told you that some rare 2020D pennies have sold for as high as $185,000 at auction? Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's the magic of modern minting. Even the newest coins can hide treasures that no one expects. Back in 2020, the Denver Mint produced over 4 billion pennies. Most of them, ordinary copper-plated zinc coins worth exactly 1 cent, but a handful came out with tiny, nearly invisible minting errors, double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, or plating bubbles. The kind of details that can turn a single cent into a collector's dream. The 2020D Lincoln penny carries the familiar design, the sharp portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner more than a century ago. On the back, the Union Shield, or modern symbol of Lincoln's unbreakable spirit and the unity he fought for. Even though this design feels new, it's part of a story stretching all the way back to 1909, when the first Lincoln cent was struck. Now here's where things get interesting. A few of these 2020D pennies left the Denver Mint with extraordinary quality, sharp details, flawless surfaces, and no contact marks. Graded by professionals as MS69 or even MS70 perfect, these gems can fetch huge prices from dedicated collectors. Combine that with a rare error, and suddenly you're not looking at pocket change anymore. You're looking at life-changing money. Picture this: a collector browsing through a roll of brand new pennies from the bank. He spots one coin where Lincoln's ear looks slightly doubled. He sends it to be graded, and it comes back labeled a major double die obverse. Bidding war starts online, and before he knows it, his 1 cent coin sells for over $185,000. That's the kind of story that keeps treasure hunters going. And yes, it's still possible today, even with coins minted just a few years ago. When we talk about condition, it's everything. A regular circulated 2020D penny might only be worth its face value, but in pristine mint state condition, with vibrant luster and no scratches, it could easily sell for $10.50 or even hundreds depending on grade and demand. Add a rare variety, like a missing plating layer, double strike, or die crack, and now you're talking thousands or tens of thousands. So where can you find them? You don't need to visit an old coin shop or dig through history. You can find these right at home, in your coin jar, your wallet, your change drawer, or even at your local gas station. The best way? Get rolls of pennies from the bank and start searching under good light. Keep an eye out for unusual features, odd textures, missing letters, extra lines on Lincoln's face or coat. Those tiny details could be worth more than a new car. And when you do find something that looks special, don't clean it. That can destroy its value instantly. Instead, use a magnifying glass or macro camera to take clear pictures. Then visit coin forums, online collector communities, or auction sites like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. You can also submit it to grading, companies like PCGS or NGC, to get it authenticated and sealed. That's what separates a coin worth $1 from one worth 6 figures. Think about that for a moment. A penny you've touched hundreds of times could actually hold a secret worth thousands of dollars. That's why coin hunting is not just a hobby. It's a real-life treasure hunt. And if you're someone who loves these stories and wants to learn how to spot these hidden gems, support our journey by subscribing to the Hidden Gold Hunter channel. Every click, every comment helps us keep uncovering treasures like this and sharing them with you. So tonight, grab a magnifying glass, a good lamp, and start checking your change. That 2020D Lincoln penny sitting quietly in your pocket might just be your ticket to something extraordinary. And maybe, just maybe, the next coin we talk about here could be yours, because sometimes the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise. One ordinary looking penny. But imagine if that simple 2017D Lincoln cent in your hand could be worth $185,000. Sounds unreal, right? But some 2017D pennies have shocked collectors and auction houses across the US, turning pocket change into pure gold for those who knew what to look for. The 2017D penny was minted in Denver. Over 4 billion of them were produced. Most are completely ordinary, but among those billions, a few rare varieties slipped through the cracks. The most famous one is the 2017D double die obverse, where the design on the front shows doubling in the date, letters, or even Lincoln's iron coat. This doubling happens when the coin die shifts slightly between strikes, and the result is a unique error that collectors chase like treasure hunters. The design, of course, continues the modern Lincoln Memorial Series, Abraham Lincoln's detailed portrait on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Union Shield on the back, introduced in 2010. The shield represents Lincoln's legacy of preserving the nation. And that little D, mint mark under the date, that's your clue that it came from Denver. Now, what really makes the 2017 D penny fascinating is the massive range in value depending on condition. A typical circulated one might be worth just a cent, but if you happen to have a flawless mint state 68 red example, the kind with blazing red color, no scratches and razor-sharp details, you're suddenly looking at a value that can exceed 5,000 Oz to 10,000, and if you hit the jackpot with a verified double die or unique strike error, the price can rocket beyond $185,000 at auction. Collectors go crazy for these high-grade, modern coins because they're nearly impossible to find in perfect condition. Think about it. Most pennies get tossed into pockets, dropped, or scratched seconds after leaving the mint. Finding one with no marks is like finding a diamond in sand. So how can you find one? Start simple. Check your loose change, your piggy banks, and those old coin jars sitting in your house for years. Roll searching, that means buying coin rolls from banks and carefully checking each penny, is one of the best ways to find hidden gems. People across the US have found rare doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other valuable 2017 D errors just by being patient and observant. When you're inspecting coins, look for strong doubling in God we trust, liberty, or the date. If the lines look thicker, or letters look like they're shadowed but crisp, not blurry, that's a potential double die. You can also find die cracks, extra thickness, or even missing details that could indicate a minting mistake worth money. And remember, never clean your coins. A shiny penny that's been polished might look pretty, but to collectors and grading companies, it loses its authenticity. A naturally preserved coin, even with minor marks, will always be worth more. If you think you've got something special, take clear close-up photos under bright light and compare them to verified examples on PCGS or Variety Vista websites, or better yet, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. That's what turns your coin into a certified collectible, and that's where serious money starts rolling in. The amazing part? Most people walk right past treasures like these every single day. They spend rare coins without even noticing. But you, now that you know what to look for, could be the next person to pull a small fortune out of a coin roll. And when you do find one, that's when you'll truly understand why collectors call coins hidden gold. So tonight, take a few minutes to go through your change. You might think you're holding just another penny, but it could be a piece of history worth thousands. And maybe, just maybe, your 2017 D penny could be the next one to make headlines at an auction, with a price tag close to $185,000. If you love stories like this and want to keep learning how to spot these treasures before anyone else does, make sure to subscribe and support Hidden Gold Hunter. Your support keeps this journey alive, uncovering real stories, real value, and real coins that could change your life. Now grab that magnifier, check your coins, and start hunting. Because your next penny could be the one that turns your luck around. Imagine reaching into an old drawer, pulling out a dull brown penny from 1922, and realizing it could be worth $250,000. That's right, one small coin that most people would overlook could literally change your life forever. The 1922 Lincoln penny is one of the most legendary coins in American history, not because of how many were made, but because of a mistake that made a handful of them unbelievably rare. You see, in 1922, the US Mint in Denver was the only mint producing Lincoln cents that year. Normally, you'd see a tiny D mint mark under the date, showing it came from Denver. But a mechanical error caused something astonishing. Some dies became so worn or clogged that the D completely disappeared. Those few coins struck without a visible mint mark became known as the 1922 No D Lincoln cents, and they are among the most hunted coins in all of US numismatics. Now here's the shocking part. While a normal 1922 D penny might only fetch a few dollars, a genuine 1922 No D strong, reverse variety in pristine mint state, red condition can bring well over $250,000 at major auctions. Even well-worn examples still sell for $3,000 to $10,000, depending on eye appeal and how clear the strike is. Collectors and Investors go wild for this coin because it's a perfect storm of scarcity and history. There were no pennies struck at Philadelphia, San Francisco, or anywhere else that year, only Denver. So when a coin shows up without the D, it becomes a true mystery piece. It's as if it shouldn't exist, but somehow it does, and the condition matters more than you'd think. If you're 1922, no D has sharp details, especially a strong reverse with crisp wheat stalks and bold lettering. You've got the kind of coin that makes even experienced collectors' hearts race. But if the details are weak or the surfaces are heavily worn, it might still be valuable, just not to the same breathtaking degree. That's why grading is key. Many people wonder how such a rare error slipped through. Back in the 1920s, minting technology wasn't perfect. Dies were reused beyond their limit to save money. When the Denver Mint polished or overused a die, the tiny D mint mark could fade or disappear entirely, and those few coins that made it into circulation became instant anomalies. Today, these coins are icons of early Lincoln cent collecting, and they represent the kind of scarcity that drives up value every single year. Fewer clean examples remain as time passes, and as supply shrinks, prices continue climbing. More scarcity means more demand, and in the coin world, that means more money. Imagine having a simple 2018 D Lincoln penny in your pocket that could secretly be worth thousands of dollars. Sounds unreal, right? But yes, there are rare error coins from 2018 that have sold for as high as $5,000, and one lucky collector even found his in a handful of change at home. Now, if you're new here, support our struggle by subscribing to Hidden. Gold Hunter, your support helps us keep finding and sharing these hidden treasures. Let's uncover the story behind the 2018 D penny, its design, condition, value, and where you might find one just like it. So the 2018 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, carrying the familiar design by Victor David Brenner, Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse. The Mint produced over 4.3 billion of these coins, which makes finding a rare one tricky, but not impossible. Here's where it gets exciting. The regular 2018 D pennies in circulation are worth only 1 cent. But when you find one with certain errors or high-grade conditions, that's where the real gold hides. Error varieties to watch for. Collectors have reported several valuable varieties from this year, including off-center strikes worth between $50 and $200, depending on how much of the design is missing. Die cracks and die chips, especially on Lincoln's face or the shield, fetching $30 to $150. Double die obverse, DDO, one of the most desirable errors, with visible doubling on the date or liberty, selling for $500 to $2,000 in top condition. And the rarest of them, or unlisted mint errors where the design is partially missing or distorted. One of these even sold for $5,000 in an online auction. It's condition and grading. The value of your penny depends heavily on its condition. In circulated condition, most 2018 D pennies are worth just face value. In uncirculated MS65, MS67 grades, they can go for 10 to 50 times. But if you've got one graded MS68 or higher with a visible error, congratulations, you might be holding a small fortune. Now, where can you find these rare ones? Start close. Check your pocket change, old jars, drawers, or even piggy banks at home. Many collectors have found rare coins in the most unexpected places, even in parking lots or old coin rolls from banks. Here's a fun fact. A few collectors who didn't know about the 2018 D penny errors once spent them at stores. Later, those coins resurfaced at auctions and sold for hundreds. So keep your eyes open. Every coin tells a story, and the 2018 D penny is no exception. It reminds us that even the smallest pieces of metal can hold stories of luck, patience, and discovery. So next time you see a 2018 penny, don't just let it slip away. Take a closer look, because your 1 cent coin could be a $5,000 treasure waiting to be discovered. And remember, keep watching Hidden Gold Hunter, because tomorrow's pocket change might just be today's hidden fortune.